I want to know about the vision of the system about the material. I have the judgment that spiritual and material many times don't go together. And actually I'm here because maybe the material is not fulfilling me as before. And I wonder if getting to that level of consciousness you talk about, really you can enjoy that world? Or if exists a moment of balance where you say, I have enough of this, I don't need any more? Exists that clarity that arrives?
I can answer that question. You know, you have to put the consciousness first, because that's what's going to give you fulfillment. But that doesn't mean you can't be achieving and making money and having a great lifestyle. Have you ever met a poor guru? No, they're all super rich. I'm probably the poorest. Now, and I'm okay, huh? But the thing is, why do humans think that? This is God. This is creation. This is to be enjoyed. But this is what brings you the joy. You have to take this joy into the world, into everything you're doing. There's not something that's spiritual and something that's not spiritual if you're in integrity. If you're being empowered and you're empowering others, if you're giving, there's nothing wrong with that. And you enjoy everything much more. But what you will find is everything will start to become more simple. Because you're not constantly trying to prove yourself and acquire more and more and more and more. You know, I have many opportunities and information about money because I mix in a world that has that, those sort of people. But I don't do that because it doesn't interest me. You get to a point where you're enjoying your life. But when you're not happy internally, you just want more, 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 more. It's all you can think about. There's nothing holistic. But when you're happy with yourself, you don't desire so much. You desire that the people around you are happy, that they're comfortable, that everyone has what they need. That includes your employees. Everyone becomes important. But that obsession that takes you out of yourself, that will never bring you happiness. You know, wealth doesn't bring you happiness unless it's internal. The same as poverty doesn't bring you misery unless it's internal. Lots of people with not much are very happy. You know, so you have to find a balance. But you have to start with this. I let go of everything to find myself. Everything. Everything I'd built, I thought I'd lose. And I worked since I was 15. You know, I had property, I had money, I had my career. I just let it all go. But I was extreme. But I got everything. And I didn't lose anything. Because anything that's real, you can't lose. You can't lose. So you just have to change your focus. What do you want to focus on? I want to be in joy. I want to heal myself. I want to enjoy the simple things in life. Not always consuming my brain with complications. That's the secret. But it's not about shoulds and shouldn'ts. Money's an energy. Everything's an energy. That energy generates more energy. More energy, more people, more production, more everything. There's nothing bad. But where is your focus? Where is your focus? That's it.
I feel a lot of division in me when I'm connected with consciousness in my being. A pretty good connection with me, empowered. That when I'm talking or laughing, joking, maybe I get lost in the doing or my program is activated. But I feel a big difference. I see clearly as if there are two puris. And I'm seeing exaggerated. I always was aware, but lately, these days, he is magnifying as never before.
Why do you think there's something wrong? You know, you have some idea of how you should be. And this is the problem with everyone. We live on the surface of our minds, and we have an idea of how something should look. But throughout all creation, we're always challenging those ideas. Because no one fits in a box. Because we're all so unique and individual. So what is it you're asking me? Are you asking me what is wrong with you? Because you have dual personality? Is that why you're asking me? Your consciousness is witnessing your human experience. So what is wrong with you? So I can fix it, you know, because until you tell me I can't fix it. What's wrong with you? Dale. What are you judging?
And I see too much separation when I'm really connected and when I'm in the outside. For example, or exalted. Or when I'm in the outside, not connected. I feel a very big disconnection, the division.
So what do you have to do? You just have to keep coming back. You know, the thing is you can see it. People that are really disconnected don't see anything. They're completely living in ignorance. They think that's normal. But you have enough consciousness to know, oh, I'm separate. Oh, I'm out of my body. So that means you're conscious, no? So come back. It's simple. It's in your hands. It's your decision. But you have the power. You have the tools. And I think you're also very violent with yourself. Like there's something terribly wrong with you. And it's just an idea. Like you don't appreciate yourself enough. You're great. You know, yeah, you get lost. Oh, well, come back. Accredit yourself with how much you've achieved. Look at that. Look at how far you have come. Yeah? And stop being so violent. Because it's too much. It's too much. There's nothing wrong with you.
Sometimes I don't know the difference in between pushing, letting go, and not control the rest. And that happens a lot with my close family, especially my nieces, my friends. And when I see something, I'm not clear. As if I want to push them to grow. But sometimes I judge myself that I'm controlling them. How to push without controlling.
I've got one question for you. Did they ask you? Well, then you give from your heart. But if they don't ask you, don't do it. But if they're open, they want you to push them, just push.
I could like to have a better relationship with my father. But I'm afraid of him. What can I do?
Well, you have to move all that fear. You know, you have to have a close relationship with your father. You have to feel unconditional love. But if you have fear, you need to go in and liberate that. Because there's a reason. And you have to let that reason go. And it's quite normal. You know, if your father's very authoritarian, it's quite normal to be afraid of disillusioning him or not being good enough. And you need to move through all of that. Because that will affect all your relationships. You need to heal that with your father. But you do it here. You see why? Why? Why do I have this fear? What does he represent? What transpired? What made me feel like that? And connect and let it go. And confront your fears. And tell him you're afraid of him. I'm Speak up! Is it that bad? No. I see? Okay. Tell him by WhatsApp then. I am afraid of you. Moticon con corazón. Te quiero, papi.
I grew in a Jewish family. And I fought a lot with Judaism all my teenager time. And I did all the things that you couldn't do. And now I let go of that war. I don't care. But I still feel separation and a little bit of judgments to their control and their ideas. How can I start healing that?
You know, you just have to let it go. Because you're not Jewish. You were raised as a Jew. You know, but consciousness is beyond any religion. And all religions have control. All religions have fear. All religions are man-made. So, of course, maybe the intent was perfect. But if it's not an enlightened master, it's an interpretation. So obviously there's fear. So you just need to let it go. And I'm sure there's lots of wonderful things. You know, they have great weddings and they do that Hana, na, 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 na. I mean, all that's chévere, huh? Have you seen Fiddler on the Roof? The violist and the Thatcher? It's fantastic. There's lots of great things. Barbara Streisand, she's Jewish. Bette Midler, she's Jewish. Spielberg's Jewish. In fact, everyone worth knowing is Jewish. And Jesus was Jewish. Yeah, so it's good to be Jewish. Das ist gut, yeah? Very good, very good. You know, just let it go. You can't change religion. You take what you want and you let go. And all aspects, there's a certain amount of love. There's a certain amount of wisdom. But you get into certain levels of consciousness and you stop identifying. But it's very important to let go of the judgment. Very important. You know?
After my process, I changed completely my profession. I used to be represented on the stock market. And now I have a consultant office for well-being. And I do coaching. And some of my clients are clients from before in trading. And before I used to have a structure from the boss that will tell this project, this and that. And now is my work is whatever I do, whatever I decide. And at the same time gets together with what is well-being, consciousness, the system. And I get lost there. Suddenly I just want to be here. And I'm super anchored in myself. And when I have to do, how do I structure, my head gets crazy. Can you explain a bit how to take more consciousness to productivity? How to balance it?
So what you're saying is you don't have a structured format. And you're having trouble flowing and disciplining yourself. You need to discipline. It's no different if you're conscious or unconscious. Do you see how this center runs? Bad example. No. That was a joke. Do you see how this center runs? It's very structured. And if something happens, we change, we adapt. And that comes from consciousness. I'm a very earthed person. I'm a very structured person. But I also flow. And you need to learn that. So you have to take what you had before and put that structure into this moment. But from a place of joy. You know, you're doing something that's helping people, and maybe on some level you feel you don't deserve. And you have to open that door too. You know, when people do things they enjoy, on some level they don't think they deserve. It's like, oh, it's not like I'm working. But you are working. You are giving. You invested in yourself. And what you're giving to people is invaluable. And you have to appreciate that. And organize yourself. To be structured, to be in the world, to be consciousness in action, that's the perfect combination. Because there's not the level of stress, there's the capacity to adapt, there's the capacity to listen, there's the capacity to serve and give. It's a fabulous place to be. Fabulous. And just apply some of your past traits into this moment. You know, when the stock market opened, you were there, no? You weren't doing lotus position in the backyard. Oh, what will I invest in? No, so, you know, be more earthed. If you could do something so structured, with so many clients, and now you can't organize a few little people for coaching, that's a bit weird. That's a bit weird. You need to anchor and appreciate yourself more. Yeah?
Hi. Here with the system, we are taught that we have to move everything, that we have to cry, that we have to beat up, and to move everything till it doesn't matter to look ridiculous. How to know the difference in between when we have to move all that and when we are dramatic and hooked in the drama.
Okay. In the beginning, I teach you to be victims, no? I say just move everything. Move, 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 move. Is the focus on moving everything? No, the focus is always on the consciousness, on expanding consciousness. And at some point, you realize, oh, there's no energy behind this. Oh, this is a drama. And you start to see it, and then you start to change. But in the beginning, you feel ridiculous. And then you start enjoying it, no? And then you start to expand. Every time you move, you expand. And you feel good. And you learn to move quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. Until there's nothing to move. And you might go for weeks. And then something will come. But you have to focus on consciousness. What we are doing is stabilizing consciousness. And that's what's important. You know, it's not about moving stress. That's a consequence of elevating your consciousness. The rubbish has to leave. So that the past becomes like a story. And it stops dragging you with it. And you can say goodbye to the victim. Yeah, and just enjoy. Good, good.
To wake up, you and the ones enlightened with you. You separate from everything and only focus in that. Is that the only way?
It's the only one I know. If you think, throughout history, Mahavira left his kingdom to become enlightened. Buddha left his kingdom to become enlightened. Jesus, you know, yes, because you have to let go of attachment. But it's not about just leaving. It's about letting go of attachment. That's the thing. And one of the biggest attachments is our personality, the control, the need to be right. All of these things. You have to let go of everything illusionary. And it's easier to do it if you're around people that are doing the same thing. And if you're with someone that's already done it. Is it possible to do it in another way? I don't know. I don't know.
Hi Isha, I want to ask you about part of what brought me here. As I read, we arrived to this life choosing the experiencing good or bad that we are going to live or we lived, And we are here to pay karma, cosmic karmas. What do you think about all this?
I don't believe in karma. I don't believe in any of it. I used to. I used to believe in past lives and all of this stuff. And then when I woke up, I just realized it was another belief system. More of the illusion. And a way to explain immortality in a human way. Yeah, but I believe in cause and effect. But in this moment, you will see it happening. I'll give you an example. The other day, I have someone working for me now, and I left here, and I went out, and I went to 3 sunglasses shops. Right, because I wanted to buy him sunglasses that would protect his eyes, because he's having a problem with his eyes. Okay, and I came back here, and a nice lady gave me a pair of sunglasses. And it's like that. And cause and effects like that. You get to see self. You get to see what you need to see. And often you create exactly what you just gave. That's why we always say to give is giving to yourself. And not because you're going to get a pair of sunglasses, but because you are giving to yourself. Do I think that God punishes you for things that you did wrong in a past life or a past moment? No, not at all. You punish yourselves. We do it all ourselves. Whatever we have a judgment with, we see it externally. And I know most of the spiritual teachers tell you something completely different. But that's my experience. It's my experience. But I used to believe in all that. That I came with karma. No more. Gracias.
Come visit our webpage for books, movies, and our wonderful retreat centers. Isha's simple yet powerful system is transforming lives around the world.